China building rafts turning effectively rafts into military boats in order to go after Taiwan. That's nonsense, right? It's just Europe has defended freedom under fire.
Ferries. Yeah, the turning.
Ferries.
So this is actually a new development. China is they're building these like civilian transport ships that could be turned into like a military landing ships in times of war. But this is because China has the capability to do so. China has the industrial capability. They have 200 times the naval shipbuilding capability than United States. They can afford to do it. Whereas U.S. right now, even the U.S. military industrial complex is giving up on reindustrialization of America. They are talking about offsourcing, retrofitting warships to Korea and Japan because they could do it cheaper. And now there's a recent article from War on the Rocks that arguing U.S. should outsource more commercial shipbuilding to Korea and Japan. And the reason they're giving is we only have limited resources and money and shipyard. So if we you will take away from our great military buildup if we were to build commercial ship in the United States. So then, in order to compete with China in this great naval race, then the best we can do is offshore all our commercial shipping building to Korea and Japan, our allies. And so all the shipyard in the United States will be dedicated to build for Pentagon. I mean, this is preposterous. The whole reason China have 200 times the shipbuilding capability is because they build everything. They build commercial shipping, so they gain the skills from building commercial ships that could be applied to build warships. And they built the economy of scale so they could build things much, much cheaper. And U.S., let's not forget, U.S. used to be the world's most dominant shipbuilder after World War II. That's how U.S. won the war through its industrial strength. That's how it defeated the Empire of Japan, because U.S. can produce tons of warships and aircraft carriers like nothing. But after the war, what happened in the 1970s is the Wall Street guys, they did their numbers. They're like, you know what? Let's outsource the commercial shipbuilding to Korea and Japan, where it's much cheaper. And then what left was protected shipyards who have dedicated government contract to build for Pentagon. So what happened is a double whammy. So on one hand, all the commercial shipbuilding is leaving the United States to go to Korea and Japan. On the other hand, the remaining shipyard that has dedicated Pentagon contract, because they have guaranteed government contract, they have less incentive to innovate, to apply new technology. So they only get further left behind. So what happened now is why the U.S. commercial, the whole U.S. shipbuilding industry is in decline, because, after 40 years of offshoring, all the people that once know how to build ships, they all retired. And they haven't been able to train a new generation of people to take their place because, those jobs are no longer here. They already outsourced to Korea and Japan. And now they want to outsource even more to Korea and Japan in order just to build warships in U.S. This is dumbest policy ever. But this is what happens when you have like Wall Street bros and finance bros and Silicon Valley tech bros running the government right now. They're literally taking over the White House, and their idea is we don't need to actually make anything. We can just be the brain. We'll outsource actual building to other nations. We can just design it and let other people build it. But in China, they believe to do everything. they put eggs in all the basket, and so this is the difference. This is why China actually, they came from behind. They only overtook Korea and Japan in shipbuilding like very recently in the last like 20 years or so. But they were able to. Yeah, they
No,
were,
please.
but because they have a dedicated industrial policy
Right.
they have a smart industrial policy. So what happened when, because shipping and shipbuilding is very cyclical business. But what happened is that there will be like shortages of ships that lead to a lot of order flooding the shipyard, and then they will produce a lot of ships, and suddenly the shipping rates falling, and then the shipping company going bankrupt, and then they stop ordering ships. So during the downturn, Chinese government says, okay, don't worry, we will take care of you. Nobody's going to get laid off. You guys are now going to produce for the Chinese Navy. You are now going to produce warships because we need to match the strength of U.S. Navy. And so, and then after China produced all this Navy, when the shipbuilding kick off to the upturn again, so like, okay, now we have our Navy ship. You can go back to build the commercial shipping now. I mean, that's how China does things.
This is so aggravating, Carl. Because for
US,
me, right, we don't do that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, that's just not the way we think.
No.
I mean, like, there's a saying, a capitalist will sell you the rope that you used to hang him. It feels like that. It's like there's certain things that you invest money into because it's vital for your country's national interests. Electricity grids, power, transportation, and yes, the military. And so the idea of, okay, instead of us paying Americans to do these jobs, we're going to send it to South Korea and Japan and let them do the jobs on our behalf because we can save money on it. It's not about saving money. Not everything is about, like if you need to get medical treatment, for example, let's say you need to get a cancer surgery, and one doctor says, hey man, I can do it for $10. And then the other guy says, well, it'll be $500, but it's going to be done right. You don't take the $10, right? You don't take that $10. I don't care what the guy tells you about how great he is.
But see, Jamar, you're making a big assumption here. Like, you would actually care about what happens to your own body. But see, yes, the elite that's ruling Washington, they don't think they're of the same stock as the average American people. You know the idea that empire comes home to roost? I mean, right? You know, U.S. has been treating the rest of the world as kind of the cannon fodders, you know, for like the human battery cells for their matrix, right? But now the elite is increasingly viewing average American just the same as the other third world country peons. You know, you guys are all interchangeable. You only exist for us to extract wealth from you. And this is why U.S. government can't do industrial policy, because U.S. government is designed specifically to funnel money, get vast sum of money from the taxpayer base all the way to the top 1%. That's what it's designed to do, and it does that very well. It's not designed to do industrial policy. And you know, U.S. government and Chinese government, they're all working very well to what they designed to do. You know, Chinese government is designed to do industrial policy. U.S. government is designed to funnel wealth to the top 1%.
Maximize profit.
And the problem, you know, I think it's cliche to say like U.S. is going through the Latin Americanization. You know, it's like with a small group of oligarchs ruling over the mass peons that they don't care, absolutely do not care about, and that's what's happening. This is what the only reason you know, after the New Deal or after Roosevelt, that the U.S. oligarch had to share some of the pie to the working class is because the Cold War, because they had to compete ideologically with Soviet Union. They have to win over their own working class to say, hey, don't get those silly ideas about communism or socialism. Here, have a piece of pie, you know, like life is still pretty good, you know. But after Soviet Union collapsed, they see no reason to share the pie anymore. Now they want all the pie to themselves, and this is why we are heading back to the inequality level of roaring 20s, you know, of the age of robber barons. We're returning back to that level right now. It's because there's no check and balance. They're not competing with the Soviet Union trying to win over the working class anymore. They don't care anymore. Agreed. And This is also the whole rationale behind their drive for AI, because the whole idea is once they have AI, they can have AI working 24/7. 24/7, no sick leaves, no, they don't need to sleep. They don't need you peons anymore. You peons you can go home. We just have robots serving us masters, living in what's that movie? Like, those people living in the sky.
Upload. Well, there's a movie called Upload on Amazon where the people are living in the like they have an AI heaven for the people. And companies got to the point.
I was thinking an older movie. There were like the common people living on Earth, and then the upper class that live like in the sky. I forgot.
Oh, Elysium.
Forget the name.
Elysium.
Yes. We're hitting right there right now. This is a vision that Silicon Valley tech bro have for the rest of us.
Yeah, I agree with you. By the way, I agree with everything you just said. 1,000% agree. Because that's the point that's why they want artificial general intelligence. Hey, I don't need that person to do, especially since many of the jobs can be done at home, or many of the jobs can be done electronically. And if you have Susan, who's a robot, who can answer phones and pretend to be a person, can redirect because she can understand language enough to do that. Then think of all the secretaries, think of all the office people, think of all these people who just lose their jobs. The truckers, same thing. Taxis, same thing. Uber drivers, same thing. If you can have a car that's automatically picks up a person, drops them off. Hell, it may even know how to go to the gas station when the gas runs low because you just put the dial that tells it time to go to the gas station. Like, all of these jobs are going to go away. Give it 20, 30 years. Mark my words. I may not be here, but Lord knows. That seems to be the game plan. This is Hegseth, Secretary of War.
We are pivoting the Pentagon.
Listen to what he says here. And because this dovetails to what you were talking about. If there is a war between China and the US, the first place that's going to get bombs are the industries in Japan that are effectively making ships and boats or whatever the hell the US is giving out. Those things should be built at home. Hegseth is effectively saying the Pentagon is pivoting to a state of war.
We're not just buying something. We're solving life and death problems for our warfighters. We're not building for peacetime. We are pivoting the Pentagon and our industrial base to a wartime footing. Building for victory should our adversaries FAFO. We're not just...
He literally just said, fuck around and find out. This is the Secretary of War. What the hell, man? This is such a degradation of, when the empire is declining, when the president curses, like drops the F-bomb in the middle of a formal address.
You mean when the reality TV show host became the president?
Yes, the guy who was in wrestling WWF for a while.
What was Pete Hegseth's previous job before he became Secretary of the War? Remember?
Yeah, he was a TV personality. Yeah. I mean, but the idea that the Pentagon person is saying fuck around and find out is outrageous. What the hell?
Jamar, the Idiocracy, the movie, that's a future documentary. We're living in it right now.
Like it. We all thought that movie was just funny, right? It was like, oh, this is hilarious that these dumb people are now taking over the globe. Like you said, that's a documentary. Let's begin to look like a documentary. So he is effectively saying we are pivoting the Pentagon to a position of war, and we are buying stuff with the idea of dealing with a war. Okay, a war against who? Who are you fighting a war with? Any war you fight is the end of the world.
And he actually says now today is more like 1939. So I'm like,
yes, he did.
What are you gonna invade Poland?
Yes, he did.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna invade Poland?
Yeah.
I mean, it's so ridiculous.
And just for the audience who know, that's the Second World War. Effectively, that's when Hitler goes into Poland, initiating the Second World War.
Invaded Poland to kick off Second World War. So for this is why remember Trump actually, one of his campaign promise was to get out of the Perpetual War, to pivot away from foreign intervention. But guess what? the perpetual war must go on. This is just like the Professor Jeffrey Sachs recently gave an interview talking about who really runs the United States. And he says, it doesn't matter who's the president, right? It's those guys in suits. And they set the policies. I mean, that reminds me of what President Putin said during Tucker Carlson interview. He talked about the time when he applied to join NATO, and he told Clinton. Clinton says, "Oh, that's an interesting idea. Let me check with my people. I'll get back to you." And later, Clinton says, "Oh, I checked with my people. They said no." and you gotta think, okay, who is calling the shots here? Who is setting the policy? Who are these people you are checking with, right? Who is really running United States government? But it's a Mickey Mat. It's a military industrial intelligence complex, the congressional academia complex, the Mickey Mat, or the military industrial complex. They are the ones always running the show, and they must be fed. And in order to feed them, this is why you need to pivot from one war to the next. You got to go from Afghanistan to Iraq to Libya it doesn't really matter where it is. Like Assange says, the whole point is not to win the war. The whole point of we're in Afghanistan is to get the vast sum of money to wash them from the pockets of the taxpayer base of North America and Europe into the pockets of a very small transnational security elite. And this is why they arrested Assange. This is why they put him in solitary confinement, because he spoke the truth.
Carl, you are fantastic. Thank you for this, man. You be safe, okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Yeah, Carl is great. Carl is awesome.